Hello viewers, you're welcome to Economy Today on TVRC. I am your host for today. Olaniun Oluwatobiloba is my name. And here with me on set, we have Dr. Akintunde Some Vincent, our lead analyst. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you.
It's good to have you on set with us once again. Today we're going to be talking about unpaid allowances and banking woes, the unending plight of NYSC students or NYSC members in Nigeria. And to get started with this particular session, I would like to ask, Doctor, how has the unpaid allowances and access bank issues affected the livelihoods of NYSC members in Nigeria?
Well, it's quite, you see, most of all these core members, it's more or less like they were heightened. Their hope were actually heightened when they were told that they'll be paid 70-something thousand naira, if I'm not mistaken, 77,000 naira. But don't forget that the initial allowance that they used to receive is 33,000 naira. And all of a sudden, was it 6 or 7 months ago, and the government made a pronouncement that they'll be paid 77,000 naira. And they were all expectant of the 77,000 naira. And that's one of the woes of this incumbent administration. It's more or less like people were deceived to, even the minimum wage till date hasn't been paid.
Some states have not enacted
not
that.
even at federal level, it hasn't been. The implementation is zero at federal level, except for the fact that some people were given some Father Christmas bonus initially, and it was more or less like stipends. So, like I said, their hope were heightened, and I mean they've all placed their budgetary allocation on 77,000 naira instead of 33,000 naira. And now they've not received the promised allowance.
Yes.
And to make the matter worse, banks are not even helping. Some will not even release the 33,000 as at when due. Some will give some they will run through some certain days before some receive their own.
Receive it, yeah.
So, and they are so aggrieved that she said you pay us 7,000 naira, you are not paying it. And you said you're also going to, the 33,000 naira you are giving to us, you are making life unbearable for us. So that's been the kettle of fish over time.
Okay, so considering just to get to go along with this particular session, considering the reoccurring issues with unpaid allowances and delays, especially with some of the banks. Do you think that this NYSC scheme needs to be reevaluated and restructured to be able to meet the needs of NYSC corpers? Well,
that's another argument. That's another argument entirely. It has to. We have to. If you are going to talk about that, I think it's going to take us a lot of time. The reevaluation, the benefits, the pros, the cons, reevaluation, and not to be either to undo NYSC or to redo NYSC. This is a whole lot of argument entirely. But in my opinion, I think the government can still sustain the program, but you just have to do the needful. Most of these core members are already tired. Even security-wise, you are going to see all manner of redeployment. Even those who were born in some part of the country, they don't want them to be deployed to their own to their own home state. Good example is that of Bauchi. Those who have been the northeast, the northwest, and the north central. Most of them, you find some of them, like doing their possible best to make sure they are deployed to the western part. Maybe those who are sometimes to the southern part and to some part of the eastern part. So, like I said, reevaluation of the NYSC scheme is going to take a whole lot of, because this is the only scheme that seems to be binding Nigerians together.
Yeah.
So to withdraw or to cancel the scheme at this point in time is more or less like it's like tampering with what unites the country together.
But
apart from the scheme,
it can be restructured.
Of course, it can be restructured, but even the restructuring can be done in a way that we even meet the employment opportunities, the employment goal of the country. Because every year you keep graduating students, the job they are not forthcoming.
Yes.
They are not getting the requisite capital to do any business, and eventually they will finish the scheme and they will go back to what? They go back to what? So, but if they are able to, those who are currently on the scheme, the government can see how to make sure that they remain, and when they remain, they have to look for opportunities available within the available within the country to make sure that these core members are settled for life. so that they can also be in the labor market. They can also be, they can also add to the growth of our economy.
Yes, indeed.
That's why you see people after graduating, you see, they will tell you, even life, they say you can only guarantee, you only know what you're doing within the ambit of NYSC, where you are still a core member. But life after NYSC cannot be guaranteed.
Yes, most times there's nothing to show for it afterwards. Wow. Thank you so much, Doctor, for that insight. Just to finalize this particular session, I would like to ask, what steps do you think can be taken to be able to ensure that the Nigerian government can take to ensure prompt payment of allowances to NYSC members?
Yeah, I think the government must weigh in. The government, at the federal level, they must weigh in, and they must. It's either they pay, because these guys are also should be at the front row of salary payment or salary structure. If you wouldn't joke with the payment of the security operatives in this country, you shouldn't joke with the payment of NYSC core member, because this more or less like what is giving them a sense of belonging. Most of their parents, sense of belonging to be part of this country. Most of their parents sponsored most of these kids, most of these students to school. And the only thing that government is, okay, now your parents, you are done in school now, okay, let's take it over from your parents and see what we can do for you for the time being, it's just a year program. Yeah. Yet you are still making it. This coming back, they should enjoy the program. And government, they have every right. They should do all it takes for the coming back to enjoy their service here. So like I said, political will on the side of the government must be well taken cognizance of. Government must be ready to make sure that anything that will truncate or that will make these core members not enjoy their service here must be totally shunned. That's number one. Number two is the scheme itself. It's of no essence if the scheme will not, add values to the life of the core members. What are the programs available within the disposals of all these core members? Is it teaching? Is it they must do something that they can be proud of. Even when they finish the program, they must look at the back. They must evaluate their time as a core members, reassess themselves, and see that they benefited immensely, and they've done something great, for their own as regards their own values.
Wow. Thank you so much, Doctor. I really appreciate those insights you've given us regarding this current issue with the NYSC scheme, the unpaid allowances, and a whole lot of other issues that might crop up regarding the NYSC. There you have it, viewers, on Economy Today on TVRC. I remain your humble host, Olaniun Oluwatobiloba. Thank you so much, Doctor, once again, for making our time to be here today. Till next time. Bye for now.